was our main event of the evening. We had Marvin Vettori stepping up, trying to make a statement against Jack Hermanson. Just real quick though, Hermanson, I said this on Twitter. You follow us at Fourth Long Radio. I gave him a lot of credit for going through three different opponents in the span of a week. That's a really tough thing mentally to do, and I just kind of want to applaud him for that. He could have easily turned down one of these fights, but dude's a champ.
Yeah, no, credit to him for even sticking with the originally scheduled bout. I mean, this is ridiculous that he has to go through three different opponents. I think it went who was it was Till first, right? It went from
Yep,
Till to
Till
Holland
to Hall.
and then to Vittori, the Italian Dream. So credit to him for sticking with it. I'm sure the UFC appreciates him a ton and they're not gonna forget that. I mean, you gotta keep in mind this is a two-way street. If you scratch their back, I'm sure they're going to help you out at some point in return. It's just the performances have to add up. Unfortunately, for this night, on this specific instance, the performance didn't match with the, I guess, sacrifice he kind of had to go through and the weird route that kind of took him to this bout. Vittori, on the other hand, is kind of the wolf just waiting right at the bottom of the hill, waiting for the chance for the wolf at the top to slip, and he sees it, grabs that moment, and takes it. Now he enters into the top five after such an incredible performance. I mean, that fight was probably one of my favorite fights of the year. I'm not saying that it was a fight of the year, but
Mm-hmm.
it was definitely one of the more entertaining, back and forth, just barn burner fights of the year. I mean,
I
we had
understand
a
that.
knockdown in the first round. We
Almost
had
finishing him. He was
back and
probably like
forth.
5 punches away from finishing him.
Really, I mean, I was really surprised he kind of went for the choke there. I thought he was gonna just keep ground and pounding him
Hey,
and
he
get him
wanted
out
to
of there.
submit the submission specialist, I guess.
That would have been a hell of a statement. But either way, it was still a hell of a
Mm-hmm.
statement.
But he
Credit
goes
to both
5 rounds,
guys.
man. Just beats him up. I mean, Hermanson had a good round in there, probably that second round for most people. And then his second and third was good. A lot of people we were hearing for the commentators too. They were expecting Marvin to kind of tire out around the
Right.
third round, and it looked like he actually was. But then he got a second win, the fourth and fifth, and just kept the pressure up. And I mean, Hermanson came away with 6 month medical suspension. He had some
Mhm.
broke his face, and Vittori, man, he had not much to lose, everything to gain, and he
Right.
might be one fight away from that rematch with Israel Adesanya. And remember, one of Izzy's first fights in the UFC in 2018, Marvin Vettori took him to a split decision. So I mean, of course, it's two different fighters at this point, but he was able to push him then. Who knows what we can see now?
Well, I think the thing is, Vittori, in my opinion, has only gotten better since then.
Mm-hmm.
He's consistently had these, decision wins. I think he just recently got one of his first, if not his first, finish in the UFC with his previous bout before this one,
Mm-hmm.
I believe by submission. So, we're looking for more steps up in terms of his performances, and I think this was the perfect showcase for him. I mean, he didn't get the finish. Finishes are probably always going to be more impressive because you're literally taking a guy out.
Yeah.
But I almost have to disagree with that because in this sense, everyone was counting him out. They said if it goes past 3 rounds, it's Hermanson's fight to lose, and so for him to go in there, almost get him out in the first round, still beat him in the second round, in my opinion, and pretty much all the judges' opinions. Third round, he starts to fade a little bit, but you could tell. I mean, that's when we found out his heart. He goes back
Mm-hmm.
to the stool, he sits on the stool, and he tells his coaches, I'll be back. I'm ready. I need to take that round off a little bit. He didn't specifically say that, but that's how I interpreted it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. I already won the first 2 rounds. This third round, let me survive. Let me get out there. Let me take as less damage, as the least amount of damage as possible, and conserve my energy so I can get ready for these last two sprints. And that's exactly what he did. He came out there in the fourth round and he freaking dominated. He did not let Hermanson push him back and use his range and sit behind that jab. He I mean, he was just incredible that night. I,
Yeah.
I, I really can't pick on anything that he did, wrong.
See, and now the thing, of course, after the fight, he did call out Paul Acosta. And to me, Blake, I think that's the perfect fight to make right now. If you're Vittori or if you're Costa himself. Vittori, I mean, if you want to get your title fight, you want to get your title opportunity, who do you fight? You fight the guy that just had his chance at the champion. You beat him, that almost guarantees you your next fight being for the belt. I mean, let's not get into what the hell is even going on with the middleweight belt at this point. You know, with Jan Blachowicz possibly, who really knows at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think about this call out? What is next for Marvin Vettori?
I love the call out in the moment, but I actually think he went back and took that back in his post fight interview backstage, not just the one or excuse me, the press conference. I think he was high emotions backstage, said what he had to say, and then he collected his thoughts, went to the press conference, and I want to say he might have switched his opinion to maybe Whitaker or something like that,
Even Whitaker
which
would be great.
which is probably a better choice for him. I mean, honestly, I mean Costa. Well, actually, they both got smoked.
Mm-hmm.
Costa and Whitaker both got smoked.
At least Whitaker had a bit of an excuse for being out for so long, but
Right. I mean, Costa, he was talking all that crap and then goes out there and gets destroyed. So that's definitely not a good look. You're right. But I mean, in terms of the call out, I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was whenever someone goes up there and they don't call someone out, I get pissed because I mean that's your moment. That's how you build up a fight. That's how you cut a promo.
You gotta do something, man.
You're in the fighting business. You're not here to make friends. I'm sorry. When you're at the top, dude, you gotta make yourself interesting. Sean O'Malley, gotta go back to my boy, knows how to make it interesting. He
Someone
gets
that'll be
people
back
pissed
in
off.
a few months too.
Yes, sir. He gets people pissed off. He gets people drawn to the card, to his fight.
Mm-hmm.
They want to see him either lose or they want to see him win. And kind of getting off topic here, but Vettori, I mean, that's what you got to do as a fighter. When the chance is there, you call out the guys that are above you, if possible, that are going to get you the best paydays and the best looks at the next fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Costa is great. He's probably what, number 2? I want to say number 2.
He's
I
still
don't have
yeah.
Yep, he's number 2. So
number
Whitaker's
2.
1. So I mean,
Cannonier out with injury. Darren Tills said that he might be going to welterweight.
yeah, if I were Vittori, I'd be campaigning for a Whitaker or Costa bout, but the only hiccup is they might be fighting each other.
Yeah.
And in that case, he's kind of screwed because what you just said
for the winner.
You just said Darren Till might be going to welterweight.
Yeah.
Wow, that sucks. So number 4 is out. Jared Cannonier injured right now.
Yeah.
I think he's out for at least a couple more months.
So he needs one of these fights. Whitaker might be taking some time off.
So you have to go all the way down to number 7, Derek Brunson.
Hey,
to be the next.
And then it's not worth it at that point.